Welcome back for another week. Charles, as always, is here, and we have a very special guest today, Shelton, the 12th man. Thank you, Shelton, for coming on. We really appreciate having
Thank
you
you
here.
so much. I know we fell in love with your story. I know America's fallen in love with your story. We can't wait to hear a little bit about it. I know it falls on a somber foundation, but what a way to keep him alive. So I want to give you the floor. Shout out to our fans. Explain yourself a little bit, and if they're living under a rock and don't know who you are.
Thank you guys for having me on your show. I'm just a regular fan per se. I'm the guy in the uniform that basically went viral a couple of weeks ago. Basically, I suit up in honor of my brother's memory, Wayne Douthett, who passed away 14 years ago. Actually, I've been doing this for going on 14 years, and I go to every game suited up in the Miami Hurricanes uniform in honor of his memory.
14 years. A love for a brother is unextended. It has no bounds, and it shows this in every way with your story. And it's crazy how the world works today. 14 years you've been doing this, and somebody on their phone manages to catch a picture, and someone catches wind of, and you blow up overnight. What now? Do you still work with the Miami Police Department?
Yeah, I do. I've been there for about going on 6-7 years. I'm a supervisor of the property unit, so I work on the inside. So a lot of people get that misconstrued with me actually being an officer. Okay. So I'm not a certified officer. I work along the police officers.
Yeah.
I'm in charge of the destruction of evidence and property once the case is over with.
Yeah.
So we burn the drugs and melt the guns and all that. But in the future, like I will say, like around April, I plan to try to get into the academy to be a certified officer, like my mother. She was an officer for about almost 30 years at the same department. So basically, every time people see me, they don't say my name; they just call me Gloria's son. But she made down that department because a lot of the chiefs and the majors and the captains were underneath my mother. My mother was their supervisor, and so it's her name goes a long way, and I have big shoes to fill. Yeah. And once I mentioned to the academy that I probably trying to become a certified officer, they was like, "Oh, we've been waiting for you, man." They've been salivating to get their hands on me. Nice. So yeah, I'm trying to make that transition, like in the gym, and I'm doing like a lot of cardio because the academy is no joke. The department down there is ran a military base. Most of the training officers are actually Marines, and one of the toughest Marines is one of the officer named Kirksey, and good friend of my mom. She's, "Oh no, we're gonna take good care of you." I'm a little worried, but not too worried. But that's the goal.
Man, what a goal! What a goal! Yeah. What a place too. The Miami Police Department. It's not like you guys get Saturdays off. That shit is rolling from 9 a.m. to 8:59 a.m. the next morning, and then the clock starts over when it hits double zeros. How intense is that?
It's very intense in some way because I see a lot because you have to be on the inside to actually see what's going on and what these officers go through. Yeah, a lot of officers give our department a bad rep. You always get bad ones and the ones that always make the news, and which paints a different picture of the police department. And one bad apple just goes rogue, and now you're looked at as, oh, you're a part of that system. But a lot of people said I would basically bring a breath of fresh air to that department, and I feel like I could be a compassionate officer and try to make a difference, because all it takes is just one person trying to make a difference and going a different route of how things are ran and how things are done. So I hope to bring a little bit of compassion, but also help out the community and at the same time.
Yeah. And from the sounds of it, you had one hell of a role model in your mother. In fact, how you got hooked on Miami Cane football, from my understanding, was that your mother was off duty at the Orange Bowl at times and acquired some tickets for your father and your brother. I believe it was the Syracuse Orange, if I remember correctly from your story. Explain that moment, as much as you can remember, of course, as a child.
Yeah, it happened when I was really young, but it was the late 90s ish.
Yeah.
My mom always liked to take the off-duty details. So she was working like security for the Miami Heat and Miami Hurricanes. So she got tickets from somebody and then gave it to my dad, and my dad took me and my brother. And right then and there, it just became a match made in heaven. It was being around those people and then watching the Canes play and having them come out the inflatable helmet with the smoke, and it was just it was love at first sight. So being down at the Orange Bowl and down there in Little Havana, it became a tradition, and I used to love just being down there because the thing is, after a certain time, my dad just, we got old enough and just let me and my brother go on our own. So we took one bus down to the Metro Rail station and took the Metro Rail all the way down there, and then it was like I said, it was basically a tradition. Like every Saturday, it was Thanksgiving. And we had matching jerseys and everything, and people started to notice me and my brother. We was always matching.
They called you
and
twinsies,
it was just it was something me and my brother bonded over. Other than him being like my best friend, it's just something. It's a connection because the Canes were like family. There was a band of brothers. Michael Irvin said, "There's football teams in there, but there's one football family, and that's the Miami Hurricanes." The famous quote said by Michael Irvin, and I took that to heart because it seemed like it just rubbed off on my family because right then and there, like my whole family became Hurricane fans.
Yeah. In the 90s was a time to be Miami Hurricane fan. Oh my God. Electric. And some of them, I want to say men they had on the field, I don't care what age they were just smashing balls. It was even today, it's fun to go back and look at some of those teams from the 90s and see how they played. So now the nickname was it Twinsy or was it Twin something? Because you and your brother started to get recognized because of the matching jerseys.
Yeah.
And then, man, I don't want to take the story here, but I would love to
talk more about your
brother. I would love to hear just how you bring him with you every day, because I love that, man. I think it's one of the coolest things possible for you to continue this story. So in the aftermath, how hard was it to keep pushing forward with this?
At first, when I first did it at the Chance Sports Bowl in 2009, when I put on the uniform and everything, it was like not an instant regret, but it was like, I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Because you had to get some smoke in the beginning.
Oh yeah. It was it wasn't tough, but it was just, how would I say it? It was more like people talking, and then when I first went to the bowl game, decked out, and it was just a lot of laughing, and I can hear it. People don't think I can hear it, but I can hear it. Oh, you missed the bus, or you're late to the game, or they made him drive up by himself, and blah 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 blah. And at that time, I was just thinking, you know what? Just block it out. This is something that you promised to your brother.
Emotionally, you could have went many different ways with this. And just the strength you have inside lets me think that you're going to take this academy on with flying colors, my friend. Absolutely. But I hate to interrupt you. I love hearing.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But it was a lot of people. As I started to do it, and I didn't want to be considered that fan that tries to get attention or try to make a name for himself, even though this thing blew up and is now it's my basically like persona. I didn't want to basically make that a thing or make it like a trademark or try to make it. Yeah, exactly. Try to be on TV all the time and this and that. it was, and a lot of people consider me a legend and this and that for doing this for so long, and I just consider myself a regular person, just making, just fulfilling my promise to my brother. Because
Yeah.
even without all the fanfare, without ESPN, all that, I will still be doing this. Even
Right.
with with no social media, no nothing, I will still be doing this.
I'm glad. Hell, it got you here with, and not that we do
We'll see
this
that.
for fun, but
Sheldon, that's the reason that Charles and I reach out to a lot of people is not to Charles and I don't get paid. We do this because Charles and I both love sports. We love stories and we love talking to people. We started out one of our first interviews was Jim Brandstetter we were huge Michigan fans. And just Charles and I just getting to talk to him and hear his voice in person, not on the radio, was just something that was for us.
Bone
That was
chilling.
like, yeah, we made it. Like this, that was awesome for us. It'd be like you, Michael Irvin, coming in the huddle and just giving you guys all big hugs and saying, "Hey, man, welcome to the brotherhood." That's like what Charles and I got with Jim, and it was fantastic. But just so you know a little bit about the two of us, is that we're not chasing anything either. We just love doing this. This is what we do for fun.
I seen a couple of y'all shows. I'm like, oh, these guys are entertaining, very funny too.
Nice.
And I was like, I was like, man, I want to grow a beard like Charles, man.
It's itchy in the beginning, man, but once you get through it, it's worth it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. How did your family receive this? How did they, and continuing forward, how have they received this?
They were supportive from day one, like any other family would be behind their relative or their sibling trying to do something in honor of somebody else. Because they started a scholarship foundation in my brother's name at the school that he went to, because my brother was autistic. So he went to a school ran by nuns from Italy, and the school helps kids and adults who have mental disabilities, and they help them develop regular life skills so they can function in the regular world and just try to guide them through life. And they've been a part of my family for years, and they help my brother through a lot, gain regular life skills, gain friends and everything. And I regularly volunteer there. When I was younger, I used to volunteer there during the summer. They had a summer program, so I helped out the kids. And they had a pool there, so they had a swimming program. I helped out the kids there, and I still volunteer there. I still volunteer to this day when they have dinners and events. I would DJ their events for free. I would want no money or anything like that, because they helped my family. So it's basically we're giving back. And my parents started a scholarship foundation to help any family with tuition there, and it's still going on to this day.
That's so cool. And we would love to get that information also when we pass this episode.
I'll give it to you.
I would love to have that and any website information we can get on that place. I know we as much love and joy as we can spread, we'd love to do that.
Right.
So to take this on kind of a memory lane thing, something I love to do to all of our guests, and I'm very sorry about this, but
no, that's fine.
Food in your childhood down in Miami, because we grew up in the UP, right? So we had Pizza Hut, Burger King, and Subway, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, we'd get
secluded
to this cool little restaurant. Where were some of your favorite places to eat growing up as a kid? And some of your brothers also. I'd love to hear as much about your brother as you're willing to share.
There's I don't remember the name of it, but my dad, every Friday we have a tradition. Like we will eat regular food through regular dinner food, but every Friday or Saturday we would get like either a pizza or a burger. And there's this place that my dad used to go after he get off of work. I think it was called Tony's or something like that. but it was genuine, authentic New York style pizza. Now, we ain't talking about the frozen pizza that you get from Publix or whatever, or the regular pizza you get from Pizza Hut. No, we're talking about cheesy, like double decker, the size of your face type slices, like huge slices.
Yeah.
And that would be my favorite, like, Friday dinner. I think it was called Tony's. I can't remember the name, and it's still open to this day. But we always used to have that type of pizza on Fridays. But I absolutely loved it, especially with the sausage. And then we get a supreme, get the peppers, sausage, onions, ricotta cheese, all that. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. And then we used to pop in VHS after the ABC lineup with Family Matters, Step by Step, Boy Meets World, and then we used to pop in the VHS, either something from Disney or something like that, and then we eat pizza, and then play Super Nintendo for the whole night.
How amazing is that? See, one of the reasons I love to do this for our listeners, we have some new parents here and there, and listening to you describe just pizza and a VHS on a Friday night, I hope allows others to see how much joy that can carry moving forward in the life. You don't have to dress up as Superman to be Superman to your kids. Hearing these stories, I thank you so much for sharing that. That's so fake. Where's your favorite food spot today? As an adult, of course.
Let's see. Especially down in Miami. It's a couple.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's a couple because it's a lot. It's working down at the police department. You get introduced to a lot of Cuban food. There's a lot of Cuban officers.
I was gonna say food trucks, Cuban food.
They introduce something called Cafe con Leche, little bite-sized shots of coffee. Then you have empanadas, and then you have the Cuban sandwiches.
I've heard about those shots of like edible coffee.
No, it is like it's literal lightning in a shot. Like I gotta get some for the wife. I gotta get some for the. I'm telling you, if you want like energy for a good 6 hours straight, just get genuine Cuban coffee. And it's a little bitter. It's a little bitter, but it'll get you what you need. Then you have the Cuban toast, and then like I said, you have empanadas. Oh man, I say one of my favorite spots to eat.
I love that you're having trouble with this. It just tells me how much good food is around you.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm always trying to eat like new stuff or just go somewhere new, because it's like down in Miami, there's always some new place popping up. So me and my fiance, we're big time food people. So every time we go somewhere outside the state of Florida, we go somewhere, then we find out like what's the
local delicacy. Yes.
Yeah. So like we went to New York last year. And we wanted to know like all the food spots in Harlem and Manhattan, and like I said, pizza was one of my favorite dishes. So we went to Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, and there's this place called Little Italy. Now, when I tell you, Little Italy is known for their pizza, I'm telling you, different type of pizza: broccoli and cheese, three cheese pizza. You have your vegan pizza. You have, my God! I'm telling you, if you go to New York, go to New York, go to Manhattan, and go to a pizza shop called Little Italy. I'm telling you, we almost missed our flight because we had to go get one more slice.
I see that.
So good. Go ahead, Pat.
Oh no, I was gonna say we haven't been there. We went to New York, but didn't go to New York City. And I actually heard one of the guys lived in Pittsburgh, and he was telling us about that place.
Oh yeah,
he's like, you gotta go to New York. He's gonna know New York. He's like, you gotta go to Little Italy. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a hike. It's like 4 hours.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, I'm sure a convention will eventually take us there. I think we're looking at something in Denver. I'm a huge pizza fan, bro. I would bathe in that shit if I didn't get burned.
Yeah, Yeah.
You just walk in and I've got pizza all over my face. I'm gonna ask you what's going on. All right, this is what we do. There was a couple of things Pat and I were chuckling. As a fan of college football, it absolutely kills us when somebody wants to rewrite their own story, right? Like football's been around for well over 100 years. Shit works, that works. In this situation, the kneel down. How hurt were you in that moment when old boy didn't kneel the ball and then everything but chaos ensued afterwards? As a fan of this,
it was very. You gotta understand. Like college football is gonna be college football.
Yeah,
and it's going to be heartbreaks and mistakes and everything because we're all human. We're not perfect.
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
it really felt like I said something's gonna go wrong here. It was a feeling like something's gonna go wrong here, but beyond the no kneel down,
yeah,
the dude's elbow was down. He had control of the ball. He was down. Play should have been dead, and the clock should have ran, and then that would have been game over. So besides the coaching mistake, that just shows the incompetence of these refs these days.
Oh, it's been so bad this year. It's been so bad.
It's been ridiculous. Like this whole season, I've been seeing even from a rival's stand, even from a rival's point of view. I can't compliment the refs this year. Like it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
We always want to say that too. Like you, as the team that wins, you don't get ridiculed. You get praised. And like you said, when you lose, you're always getting the finger pointed at you. Questioning every move you make. In the NFL every week with their press conferences. It's terrible. Even in college football, actually, because I think Cristobal had to literally take the questions after that. And what did they bring up? Because it happened in Oregon. This is just what I do. This is how I coach. You guys want to change how I coach when it's successful, but then you guys want to ridicule me. Even when we're winning and when we win big, you guys still have questions and you want answers for things that you already know the answers to.
Yep.
How is your recruiting class? Your upcoming? How does Miami look in the?
I think we're number 5 because we flipped the defensive lineman from Ohio State. He was a 5-star.
Oh, that shit's like a stealing candy from a kid
we
right
love
now,
it.
bro. Go shop at Ohio State.
Yeah. I was surprised because that came late at night, and I looked at Twitter. I was like, "Oh, okay, that was a big boost." So, I think we bumped up to number 5. I think we were up to number 5 for next year.
College football is better when Miami's good.
I said in 2 years. I see this in 2 years, and I literally got blasted on Twitter because I posted on Twitter and it got 100 replies. I said in 2 years, I see Florida State and Miami going head to head for a college playoff spot, and it was like, no, you crazy. They're bad, this and that. Now the way Cristobal coach, you have to see it like this. Like everybody expects college football to be like a microwave type of thing. Yeah. You get a new coach, you expect a 12-0 season. You get a high profile coach. You say that you get Lane Kiffin or anything like that. Yeah. Oh, 12-0 season, national champs, just crown us right now and this and that. You have to look, but you have to look realistically. Now, when FSU hired Mike Norvell, when he went 5-7, then 6-6. What was it, 6-5 or something like that? The next season, lost the bowl game, and they didn't go to the bowl twice. What was it, twice? They didn't go to a bowl game. And they oh my God, they wanted his head. It was like, no, fire this dude, this and that. And last year they went 10-3. Now they're undefeated. Yeah. So and that took, I think, 4 years.
Yeah.
So you have to give it time. Now with Miami, last year we went 5-7 this first year. This year we're bowl eligible. We're 7
Yeah,
and 5.
playing Rutgers. You'll be
They're
playing Rutgers.
yeah, we're playing Rutgers.
Pinstripe
And
ball.
it's a mid-tier bowl, but you have to look at it from a realistic point of view. It's trending upward. I could have been, just like, okay, maybe next season. Now I'm trying to debate if I could go to the bowl game or not.
We were gonna ask, are you gonna make it there? Go grab that pizza?
Probably. I don't. I'm trying. It's very very hard because the thing is, it's really expensive to travel around the holidays, especially to New York.
Well, I was gonna say,
I can get the tickets, but then there's a hotel, and then
then you got Little Italy too.
You got Little
Italy. Oh yeah, that too. Because we're in the Bronx. It's in the Bronx.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this, and I'm trying to look at my fiance. I'm like, oh yeah, we still got a wedding to pay for.
So my wife and I took. We said house over big wedding. Fuck it.
No, it's gonna be definitely a small wedding. This wedding is gonna cost me like $1,800.
Oh, that's up.
Like,
yeah. Hell yeah.
It's like service, service and everything. I'm like, okay, I'm good. Yeah.
The wife wants a bigger ring. She's got to make it another 7 years. That's what I told her. I said, 10 years, baby. I got you.
Exactly. I said, look, I ain't got to worry about anything. I got it. All right. It's 1,800. I got
it. That's so awesome. How do you feel about Rutgers?
I feel like it's a winnable game.
Country.
Yeah, I feel like it's a win. I feel like it's a winnable game, but the Big Ten is on the up and up, especially with Michigan potentially playing for a national championship. It's one of those rising conferences. You have to say like below the SEC. So
yeah, on paper,
it's going to be a tough matchup. Regardless.
Absolutely. I think
because we don't play well in the cold.
1.5, but. I think Miami's favored in that Rutgers matchup, if I remember.
Yeah, I think we're favored by 5. I think we're given 5.
Rutgers has a struggling offense. They've got a good first half defense, but they've got a few playmakers that just burn their shit out the first half, trying to get their team in a position. And by the middle of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter, they're pretty tired, and they've been doing that all season. So I think Miami should roll pretty quickly.
Hopefully.
But Pat, I don't want to chit chat this all the way. I got to start the car, but
we're good.
It's on the phone.
You're good.
I don't know why.
No, if there's anything else you'd like to plug, is there any other stories you'd like to tell? Charles probably has. Charles probably had a story in his mind that he wanted to tell you, but he doesn't want to take the glory either.
Yeah, I would love to hear a little bit. I would actually before we wrap this up, if you don't have anything specific to plug, I would love to hear a little bit more about that place that helped your brother and your family. I would love to get the name of that.
We need to plug.
I would love to give that charity a shout out, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. It's called the Wayne Kevin Douthett Memorial Scholarship Fund. As I said before, is basically funds to help any family that needs tuition help, because it is a private school and it's ran by nuns from Italy. Yeah. They help mentally handicapped students, either kids from infancy on to adulthood. They have an adult program too there. So some of the people stay there from when they're kids onto the adults, and they actually stay on the campus with the nuns. And they also help them with regular educational skills to daily lifestyle skills like cooking, cleaning, holding down a job, budgeting, all that regular adults to help them function in this world as a regular person. I've been volunteering there for years, and this is basically a way to give back to them, because you have to look at it like this. Like, mentally handicapped people didn't want to be that way. They were just born that way. They seem like they're just a normal person, but we can see that they just a little different. They just need a little help. There's a little bit more compassion. So I have a very soft spot for people dealing with mental disabilities, mental health, autism, all of that. So because when my brother had it, but I didn't see him as special needs. I just saw him as a regular person, and I treated him as such. So
I gotta tell you, Shelton, that up until us having this story, the way you talked about your brother and the way the story has been portrayed, I did not know. It was not something that, and that pleases me to know that I didn't know, because the projection you're giving is exactly from my hearing what you wanted. I feel like I know Wayne a little bit better now, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful for your story, Shelton. It's been a blessing, man. I love hearing about you. I've loved hearing about your family. And I don't say this for very many other college football teams, but go Canes.
Yeah, but that's one thing I would say. That's the underlying message in all of this is basically spreading love. No matter who you are, what skin tone you are, what you look like, all of that. We're all brothers and sisters, and regardless, we all came from something. We're all connected by something. And college football connected me and my brother. And this is basically just me sharing my love for my brother and the Canes to everybody else. And if that makes one person smile or makes one person day or just inspires somebody just to help somebody or just say hi or make somebody else's day, then my job is done.
Yeah. And I hope from this interview, we have felt the love from you and your brother and your family. That was our main goal. Chatting with you. We wanted to hear just about you and your family, and you've given us that and more. I really hope that pizza place is Tony's. Shout out Tony's. Fantastic pie. If not, we'll figure that out later. But Pat, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, just shoot me out those links and all of your socials, and we'll get everything rolling here within the next week. And we'll get some promos going for this, and hopefully we can shed some light on that foundation and get some help out there. Charles and I would love to put a donation in too. If they have a donation on behalf of the podcast, absolutely get us any information you got. So
did we lose him at the end? He moved a little bit, but that's fine. So that was Shelton. For those of you who don't know, look him up on
Twitter,
Instagram, everywhere. We'll get all of that information out for the charity, and we'll absolutely push out a nice donation for that. Yeah, it touches my heart. And for all of our listeners out there, thank you so much. This has been an absolute blast. Again, Shelton, I'm not sure if you could hear us or not, but nope, he's gone now. Yeah, it was an internet issue. We'll link back up with him soon. I want to hear about his wedding. I want to hear about how all of that's going on. We love to do that with all of our guests.
And we'll
as be reaching out to you again soon, Clint, you son of a bitch. And Hunter, our boy Hunter, got on TV. He's going to be getting on TV. He's got a TV spot down Dayton on January 16th.
Yep, he'll be coming back on probably before that. Probably around right after January 1st.
We're out there killing it. Our boy up there doing the ghost. The guy doing the comedian thing, Michael. Man, we love all of our guests.
All of them are doing fantastic. We'd love to see all these people succeed. That's what we do.
If you don't know, Jim Brandstetter is still doing well.
JimBrandstetter.com.
Go check out his audiobook. We love you guys.
Go Canes.
Go Canes. Go Blue.